Morning, guys. Welcome to Farm Business East Africa. My name is Tony, and today I'm back in Inspire Generations Farm with my namesake Tony. And yes, Tony, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
It's been a minute.
It's been quite.
You're doing well. Exceptionally well.
Yeah, we thank God.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you, man. You're expanding in leaps and bounds, and that's wonderful.
Sure.
So, how do you solve cash flow in a horticultural farm like yours?
That's a very good question, and I think most of the time when I interact with people on social media spaces, they normally get such questions, and more especially like at the moment, we have. Majorly most of the crops, the prices are not very good.
Yes.
And maybe some people are asking, then how am I able to, to go back to, to do what I love, maybe to do the particular crop that I was doing, yet I was not able to break even.
Yes.
When you start farming, let's say you're doing onions, it takes about 4.5 months, because you have 45 days in the nursery, and then you transplant the onions to the main farm, and it takes about 3 months, depending with the variety. And within that period of 4.5 months, it's especially with a crop like onion, it's always expense probably on daily basis, on weekly basis, on monthly basis for a period of 4 months without getting anything in the return.
Yes.
So somebody will, I would say that you have to make sure that you have enough cash flow, because all these crops, they are programmed in a way. You have to feed them, you have to spray, you have to water them.
Yes.
And if I can use Kiswahili, hautaambia kitunguu kadil kataiva and then nikuje niweke fertilizer.
Sure.
Okay, so if by any chance you intend to get into farming, then you must make sure that you have cash. Let's say you're doing an acre. You have to make sure that you have cash to run that project from point zero to the point of harvest.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's what I can say maybe regarding on that, because I believe maybe later on we will talk about diversification and for the purposes of cash flow and that. But if you intend to get into farming, if you intend to do onion, if you intend to do tomatoes, make sure that you have enough money to do that particular project. And that's why I normally say, don't take a project that you cannot push to the end.
Yes.
Make sure if you decide to get into farming, if you have 500,000, do 1 acre, and or even half an acre. To make sure, because at the end of the day also you don't want to spend your fortune, everything to the same project with, and you don't know what is going to happen.
Yes.
So maybe to answer that question, I know in another video we will get into the cash flow itself. But what I can say is that if you intend to do a project, make sure that you have enough money to do that project from point zero to the point of harvest.
Yes.
Within the week we had a conversation with some people, and someone mentioned that kimemuramba proper. Yes. And what he meant is that he planted onions. I think he harvested the first batch on I think around July, and if you remember, around July, that's when the prices started going down.
Yes.
And so he was not able to recover.
Yes.
And then he had another batch that he was harvesting actually at the end of this last month.
Yes.
And the prices were terrible. So, and I did mention that because of that, he is not able to go back into farming. Yes. He is giving up. So such scenarios are there.
Yes.
And but what we for the short time that I've been in farming, there are some things that I've realized. And number one, it's, as a farmer, it's so difficult to control the market.
Yes.
You really don't have much of the control of the market. If that happens, it's on a very small space. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So what you are in control of as a farmer, and that is what we encourage at our farm, at Inspire Generation Farm, that production is the key. Like every onion, every seedlings that go to the farm counts.
Yes.
That's what you can control. So what happens is that even when the prices are bad, your production is good, then you are able to balance the equation. So you take a scenario the prices are not good, and then your production is low.
Yes.
You're closing your farm.
Yes.
It's very possible.
Yes.
Very easy.
Yes.
But then what happens is that when the prices are not good, your production is good, at least you're able to balance the equation to stay afloat.
Yes.
Yeah. And it happens that if the production is good, the prices are good, then you make a kill. And that's why you get, there are some people overnight, maybe it's not overnight, I can't call it that. You know, that consistency, the patience, you know, you do it each and every, you know, it doesn't matter whether, you know, the prices are good or not, you go back into farming.
Yes.
And at one point, you're going to get yourself into a, you know, a season where the prices are good,
Yes.
the production is good, then you make a kill.
This prices issue is a real thorn. You know, someone said, and I found that to be very, very interesting, that farming is the only form of production where producers buy inputs at retail price, then sell produce at wholesale price. And that is so real and also very disgusting, because
Yes.
if you really think about it, this is it's a production. It's just like manufacturing and all. And so for your scenario now, because the last time we were here, we were planting.
Yes.
It was actually on the actual date of planting. That was about 4.5 months ago. It was beginning of August, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
And a lot has gone on, and you've actually harvested. So how was the market reception?
I think you've mentioned something very important, and I think, you know, that's where, you know, we feel like, I mean, the government should come in to
Yes.
protect the farmers, and because, I mean, to stay afloat even as a small scale farmer, it's so difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, because you know, you have an acre of land, there is no way you can get, you know, the farm product, especially maybe the chemicals, the fertilizers on wholesale.
Yes.
It's so difficult. But for those who are doing large scale farming, then it becomes a little bit cheaper for them.
Yes.
Okay, so as you didn't mention, when the 4 months down the line, yeah, actually we've been harvesting for the last, you know, last month, probably the whole of the month. The prices were not good. I can say that for a fact. And you know, I had to, you know, to dig and find a lot of information how the market, you know, the market works.
Yes.
And you know, you get to a point even when the buyers are not even calling your phone, then you realize that this is not, you know, there's a way they create some, you know, an imaginary, you know, oversupply, you know, to kinda, you know, threaten the farmers in a way. But this time it was not so.
Yes.
The reality was, and the reality is, the market was not good.
Yes.
And so I can say, as I didn't mention before, or that the only thing that was able to make me, even as a farmer, to stay afloat was production.
Yes.
Because in the first project, which we harvested on May, then the production was not good. That's I can say. But then on the second project, we were able to work on the mistakes that we did, you know, in the first project.
Yes.
And there was a lot of improvement.
Yes.
Yeah, so our production actually, I can say that went up by about 70%.
Wow.
And because of that, you know, the pricing was not good, but because of the production, at least we were able to stay afloat. I mean, to balance the equation, not to make, I mean, I can say that we really made maybe a lot of money. No.
Yeah.
I cannot lie to people and say that. But then at least we're able to stay afloat, and then we come back and farm again.
Not only you've to increase production to about 70%, you've really worked on your research. You've done what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
Now, if you walk from your gate towards the main road, there are several farms, quite similar to yours. And generally in this area of Kisaju, there are so many people, and Kajiado in general,
Yes.
there are so many people doing what you're doing, that is on your horticulture, right?
Yes.
So maybe not many at the scale that you're doing it, but you guys are there. So if you were to steal the formula from the dairy sector, where the dairy guys were able to stabilize the price, they're able to speak together, they're able to even have a voice and have representation. For example, today, if any buyer, milk buyer, or was to come up and say, I'm buying milk at 30 shillings, you find that conversation going on even at the parliament. You are equally as important as dairy, because we need onion in every plate on a daily basis.
Yes.
Mostly not less than 3 plates a day. So what is preventing horticulture farmers, small and medium, to come together so that they can amplify their voices and be able to sort of gain control of their destiny?
Sure, and that's equally very, very important actually, because mostly in farming, and you look at the maize sector, and the onions, normally, you go back some years down the line, Kenya was not known for onion farming quite
True.
a lot.
True.
And mostly, I just came to realize that the other day we even import onions from India.
Yes.
And that's, got me worried. Like, I mean, we have a lot of land in Kenya that can be used for farming. But to be honest, we don't have any support from, because there is no way you have people farming in Kenya doing onion. The cost of production is to the roof. But then at the same time, the same government allows import from other countries.
It's true.
It's so frustrating.
Yes.
And for that reason, actually, even as farmers actually in Kajiado, we have those conversations going on.
Yes.
And to my understanding, there was a meeting actually, I think at the end of last month.
Yes.
And actually trying to borrow from the dairy cooperatives, the coffee cooperatives, so that at least to caution ourselves, from such scenarios, whereby we can have a conversation nationwide that we really need to have some control, because at the end of the day, the cost of production did not go down.
Yes.
But the prices are going down.
True.
Then something is wrong in some place.
True.
And for that reason, yes, we're having those conversations to come together as farmers, so that we ensure I mean some certainty in terms of the prices. Not, on January we have these prices, and then at the end of the year we have very, very low prices. So we're having those conversations, and I think it will take time, for people to buy that idea.
Yes.
But then it has to happen,
because
and thank God for social media.
True. For small and medium enterprises, cooperatives are almost, we would say it's everything, because now that gives you the bargaining power.
Yes.
They strength in numbers. If you look at what you're farming, for example, onions, you can be able to keep them here for up to a month plus, right? Milk, you can't do that.
Yes.
Milk, it's on a daily basis. If you have your milk actually for a day or two, it has gone bad. And if guys who are in such a highly perishable product are able to come together and control the market, because these guys are have a very powerful voice, I believe in the future you guys also will find a solution in that, and I wish you guys all the best in that. At least we can't have guys giving up on farming. We need to feed the nation. You look at the cost of production of a crop like onion, for example, here, and our neighbor Tanzania, because it's just along the road. The cost of production is actually very different.
I mean, you
it's
can
crazy.
compare. And then even at the same time, what is very frustrating is that, it's not like Kenya, we are not producing onion. And there is also a notion, probably we will do a conversation of that on a later video or something, because there's a belief that, Tanzanian onions are of quality.
Yes.
And I don't want to mention something, probably, but people should be very careful on what they are consuming.
Yes.
Because, like in Kenya, I mean, we are very strict on, as they say, they are very strict on the chemicals that even we use at our farm.
Yes.
And I will tell you for a fact, what some of the chemicals that have been, that the government in Kenya does not allow us to use are used in Tanzania.
Yes.
And then, so what is the purpose of banning those chemicals to be used in Kenya and they're used in our neighboring country?
Yes.
You know, I mean, you wanted to protect the consumers in Kenya.
Yes.
But you are allowing the import from Tanzania to come in Kenya with the same chemicals that you burnt over here. So
Yes.
what is the whole, and probably even a message to the consumers in Kenya, you know.
Yes.
At times, you know, buyers will tell you, oh, we have onions from Tanzania. Be mindful of what you're consuming. I mean, yeah.
Now you brought in a very interesting point, Sonny, because now we the last time we were here, we were discussing about building brands. Because, you know, for again, even from an outsider or a layman's perspective, it's easy to say that I think it's about time farmers take the next step. You have done your crop production side, and you've mastered that. Now you focus on the business angle. So one way of doing that is partnering with someone who is able to offtake that. There's that already in the market. There is contract farming, even though most people don't end up getting value in it, right? The other way is actually building a brand and pushing your products to the consumer directly. Now, because we have social media today, and the penetration again is on the high. Now, for example, you hear in the urban setup, majority of the people who end up buying your produce most likely will follow you on your socials. These are the people who listen to you when you go live. These are the people who watch your content. So I think it's also about time farmers propel these things to the next level.
Yes.
We try and cut what has been feeding off us.
Yeah.
Because it's not building us. If after every 2-3 seasons, someone has to give up, someone has to go bankrupt because he invested in something that ought to have, you know, given some returns and they didn't. And you know, the challenge actually is because farming is more of it's like a social enterprise. Yeah? The country needs you farmers to farm more than you farmers need to. You could be out there doing anything, but you chose to farm.
Yes.
And your onion here will feed millions.
Yes.
The tons of onions that you produced here will end up feeding millions of people in this setup.
Yes.
So yeah, Tony, I hope in the near future we will get past these kind of conversations and focus on what we love doing, which is production.
Yeah, we will. I mean, we will. I mean, even as we conclude, is that you know, in Kenya and mostly in Africa,
yes,
you know, farmers are very lowly regarded. Yeah, you know, back in the days for our fathers, and you know, they were taught agriculture in school.
Yes.
Nowadays, even the number of people that want to do agricultural courses are very few, because for some reasons we've been told, you know, farming actually is not for young people. Farming cannot make you money, and you know, and for some reasons we have, you know, probably even the people in the government are not doing, you know, to support farmers.
Yes.
You know, you go to a country like US, you know, I'll tell you, farmers are the most rich people in US.
Yes.
Because government protects them because it needs them.
Yes.
You know, to provide food for the people.
And the subsidies.
But in Africa, the percentage of arable, you know, land can be used in farming. The biggest percentage is in Africa.
True.
Yet we are not able to feed ourselves, you know, and then you wonder what is wrong. So I think we have to get to a point that, you know, we use the power of social media to educate our people,
yes,
to educate, you know, so that they can support farmers, because we have, actually our goal is to cut the middlemen, because we have people who don't do farming, yet they benefit even more than the farmers. Yeah, and I tell you, we will get to that point where we can take away that barrier, and we sell our produce direct to the market as farmers.
Fantastic.
And we will get there.
That's it for me today, and I hope to catch you soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Kwaheri.
Yeah.